Hello everybody, and thank you for coming back to the channel. And in this video I hope to be able to Maiden the P47, which is here, which doesn't fit because it's so big. But before I do that, I have to do a couple of things. First of all, I want to change the propeller because this is the wooden propeller, like hand carved. Not perfect, but I wouldn't want to break it on the first test glide, so I'm going to change it and put the plastic one that I had on before also, and let's see how that behaves. That's the first thing. And then I also need to do the weight and balance. So I've got here some of the weights. These I think are 5 grams each. These are weights that when you go to the mechanic and you change the tires, they take them off the wheels and then they put new ones on. So they throw these around, so if there's a mechanic close to you that changes tires, they're probably lying around on the floor somewhere on the ground. So those are the steps that I want to do. So the first thing I want to do is take off the nose block and not lose the rubber inside. And let's see if I can show you also. You can see it maybe if I point at it. Here I have like pins, 3 pins, which I put in place because I need some more separation from the cowling for the propeller. But actually I like having them there because I can maybe use those also in case I need to do some thrust alignment changes. So if I need a bit more down thrust, I'll take this one down. If I need more right thrust, I'll take this one out. So that's kind of the idea. I do have the thrust panel here that it took me some time to build, but if I can avoid using it, I'll avoid it, let's say it like that. So let's see, the Maiden will probably be just a few launches, and then let's see how it goes, because it's the biggest model, rubber powered model I've ever done, and even my other rubber powered models haven't worked very well. So anyhow, I'll do this and then hopefully I'll see you out at the field. Here I am out at the field, and I put on the landing gear just for show somehow, just to not leave it lying around on its belly awkwardly. And good news is that there's almost no wind, which is good. It's also not too humid as other times, but there will be some dew on the grass, I'm sure. The bad news is that the grass has been mown. It looks great, but I wanted the long grass. So I still have the wheat field behind me, so I might be using that, and there's a bit on the edge of the field that is long grass, so I'll try to use that, and let's see how it goes. I did lose one of the pins. I did put in the propeller, the plastic propeller, I put in 2 beads there, but I did lose one of the pins on the way. So, and I don't have any replacements. I didn't bring any tools or anything, which is a bit awkward of me. But let's at least try some launches, some glides. Let's see if I can calibrate it. I do have in the rear and the tail surfaces, these are movable parts. They are put in with some metal hinges that will bend as the rudder. So these are separate, like the elevators are separate so that I can trim, and the rudder is also there that might also be able to help. So let's see how this develops. I put in some turns. I've taking off the landing gear. The turns are just, I don't think it'll give it much thrust. It's just so that the nose block doesn't fall off. I did put in some nose weight in the little compartment I made for it. I think I put in something like 40 grams or something, which feels like a lot, but it was kind of what I thought would be needed. So I'm going to do some hand launches. Let's see where it lands and how it behaves. Maybe a bit too nose heavy, or maybe I can put the elevators up. And it is a bit wet, so I've taken the recommendation from one of you, from Richard, so thank you, Richard. I brought some paper towels to try to keep the humidity off at least as long as I can. Maybe it'll allow me to do a couple of flights. So, and hopefully I don't damage anything. But that was like too nose heavy, right? Too tail heavy. So these are the weights. So I'm going to put them back in, but with -1. There. So let's try it again. And let's see how it glides this time. So that was slightly better, I would say. I didn't have to take out maybe another weight and try it once more before I go with the powered. So the third launch with 10 grams less in the nose. Well, that one went better, but it did stall, right? It kind of needs that weight. So I think I noticed a bit of like right turning tendency, so I'm putting a little bit of left rudder. I've given it like 100 turns, and it is getting wet, so it's good that I brought the tissues to dry, but I'm running out of tissues. So let's see how this goes. This is around 100 turns. Too much left rudder. And I see fellow modelers coming, so that's probably going to be the end, close to the end of the session. But I'll try still maybe another 200 turns. So around the 200 turns. Let's see, it's getting wet already. It's really getting very wet and it kind of nosedived. This is the section that I usually refer to as the debrief. I think in this occasion I'm going to call it damage control. It didn't go too well, as you could see, especially the last flight. The weights have shifted, had to have shifted inside, and that's why it was such a big stall and then the nose crash. The other flights, I would say, the trimming flights, kind of okay. Like, it's good that it did glide, it did land on its belly nicely. So it is a flyable model. I think it doesn't have enough power. It's going to be too heavy. I need to put in so much weight in the nose to keep it balanced that it's going to be difficult, but not giving up quite. But let's see, let's review a bit of the damage control. So the main landing gear, I don't know where I have it. I hope I did bring it back because it was a lot of work, but now I can't find it. But what I did lose was the tail wheel. I don't know in what landing, maybe one of those belly landings. I then went back to look for it. I did not find it, and that's my mistake because I should have taken it out, and this is probably where it was. And in being ripped out, it actually damaged a bit of the under fuselage also. Not the end of the world, it can all be done again, right? And it can be fixed. But just a bit annoyed at myself for not having taken it out. So now more work for myself. Then worrying damage on the propeller. Like, it's good I had the plastic propeller because the wooden one wouldn't have lasted so much. So I've got a significant cracking here. I don't have a replacement propeller, so I'll have to try to fix it. Maybe snap it back in place and put in some super glue in there, and hopefully it stays. And then maybe find also some other propellers. That's also something that I probably should try to do at some point. And then I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this because it's really very dark inside. If I put in the flash, I wonder if, yeah, maybe you see it, I don't know. So in there, if you can see it, one of the spars, like the formers, the fuselage formers, has broken. Again, probably one of the belly landings or the last crash. Maybe the belly landings, and maybe because of that, then the weight also shifted significantly. So I think a lot of in that big stall, the weights, for some reason, they shifted backwards or just before the stall. And I didn't check it well enough probably before the launch, and that's why it was that stall and then that nosedive. So that's not really too good. So good that maybe you can see it in there, which is good. Let's see if I turn this off again, go back to normal. And then other than that, I would say, it didn't fly very well, but it did sustain the hits. There's a bit of damage here and there, a bit with the tissue. but nothing too big. Now I don't recall if I actually put the layer of lacquer on it. I might not have done it, which is a mistake. I should probably then do it before the next one. And the other big lesson learned is using those towels, those paper towels, as Richard had recommended. That was a good idea, because I think it did slow down the process of the soaking of the dew into the tissue. So as I say, like, some homework to do to fix it up and to try it again. I'm not giving up on it. I'm not sure when I'll get around to it, as I have other things also ongoing. But I cannot declare this a success by any manner of means. So stay tuned, and I'll keep you updated on the P47 Thunderbolt.